Hello, God's glorious people from the underworld above. The divine's glorious people from the underworld above. And in case no one has told you recently, God is proud of you. And I am proud of you. And you know why. Just know, God is proud of you. And I am proud of you. You should be proud of yourself. And don't ever change yourself just because somebody's opinion. Who you are has been forged by the divine. Not for you, but for others. For you, in a sense that you have been prepared for the seat that you were supposed to be in. For the position that has been prepared for you. You have been prepared for. So do not change who you are based on an opinion. Now, I did some calculations. It's the only way I can put it because it wasn't actually an actual writing, it was just a calculation. And I did not know what to actually call it. I was just going to call it how the divine sees us. Until I heard somebody say the levels of consciousness. And it fit perfectly. It fit absolutely perfectly. No, I did not buy coffee. I made coffee. I brewed my own coffee. Put coffee grounds in a bottle, let it brew with the water. Put a bag over my cup and siphoned out the water from the coffee grounds. Went to the gas station and got a couple packets of sugar. But, into today. The levels of consciousness. Now, we all know within us ourselves, we have the not awake, we'll say, for lack of better terms, the sleeping. We have the light workers, okay, those who teach by example, lead by example, okay. Then we have the teachers who have an understanding of what it is around us, who in turn teach the light workers, who in turn teach the ones who are asleep. And then we have the not so good ones, who we would call demons. And then we have the angels and the archangels and then the Most High. Now, the ones who are asleep, they would be the equivalent of the little babies. The little babies. Pure innocence. In turn of that pure innocence, they are highly influential. Okay? Let's think about it. Think about a baby. All right? You yourself, as a baby, have no memory. Correct? You can't tell me when you were a baby just learning how to crawl. You can't. That would be the flock, in a sense. Yes? The sheep, the lambs, the pure innocent, those who truly know not what they do. Okay. Now, above that, we have the light workers, the ones who lead by example, the ones who teach the flock by example, and also who help the flock individually, purely. These would be considered the 5-year-olds. They have the consciousness. They are aware of good and bad. However, they are still highly influenceable. They are the ones who have good intentions, who want to teach of light, However, and it's not to poke anything like that, it's just that they do not hold that deep knowing, that deep understanding. Okay? And it is up to the next level to teach them. The teachers. Okay? The teachers would be considered the 10-year-olds. The 10-year-olds have a good understanding of good and bad. Right? Right and wrong. They have a firm grasp on what is right and wrong. A 10-year-old does. Now, a 10-year-old will go to a 5-year-old and tell them, because the 5-year-old has better communication skills, has better speech, has better knowledge, thinking, critical thinking skills. Okay? It is up to the teachers to teach of the understanding to the light workers, and in turn, these light workers take what they have interpreted, okay, and the light workers are able to dumb it down a bit in order to teach the flock in an indirect way or a direct way, however they choose. Okay, we are merely 10-year-olds. Any teacher on this plane of existence is merely a 10-year-old. Every single one of them. I don't care what your age is right now. Okay? Now we go into the more not so great side of it. The demonics. The demonics would be more like the 15-year-olds, the rebellious souls, yes, the ones who believe they know all there is to know, the ones who think of it this way, okay? To a demonic soul, subconsciously they know that this life doesn't entirely matter, for there is another one after. So, what they want to do, because they already know where they're going after their cycles are done, after all of these cycles are done, they already know where they're going. So, they would like to enjoy life to its fullest as much as they can. Okay? Because, let's face it, you don't have drugs and intercourse in hell. You don't. Okay? Now, these demonic souls are subconsciously miserable, subconsciously tormented and tortured. Excuse me. So they, in turn, because we all know misery loves misery loves company. So these subconsciously miserable souls would like everyone else to be miserable. And who is the easiest to influence? Because these miserable souls like to have the easy way out. Now you see the importance of the flock. Do know our job is not to convert these 15-year-olds. Okay? I don't mean this lifetime 15-year-olds. I mean the 15-year-old souls. Okay? You can attempt to. However, the only thing that you are really going to do is stir up that demonic soul, and they have really no, what is the word? Conscience, conscience, not conscious, conscience. Okay. Now, moving on, we have the angels. The angels, okay? Not the archangels, the angels. The angels would be considered the 20-year-olds, the ones who know, understand, and accept the responsibility. Okay? It is their job to influence these demonic souls, all right? Because they are more knowledgeable. Yes? Okay. Now, the archangels would be like the 40-year-olds, the ones who are well seasoned, well knowledgeable, and well into their responsibility. Yes. And then you have the divine, the Most High. That is like the 80 to 100-year-old who knows all. I'm not going to say 80-year-olds know all, however, they are very knowledgeable. Yes, I believe we can all agree with this. Now, knowing this, okay, we must understand this so that we do not believe just because of our age or our life experience that we are above someone else. Because that is not true. We offer knowledge for others. Yes? And no one's knowledge or experience or wisdom is greater than anyone else's, for it all holds a purpose. Okay? I just kind of find it funny that I wrote that, and I didn't know what to name it besides how God sees us. I'm getting more into saying the divine. I would like you to as well. You don't have to by any means. It is a habit too. Because I understand. This is why I'm trying to change the name here. Alright. Not really change it, just correct it, redirect it. Again, he has been known as God for quite a long time. Quite a long time. So. But, understand that a majority of us hold the consciousness equivalent to an infant, asleep, highly impressionable. Okay? And this would be considered the flock. And then you have our light workers, the ones who practice what is preached. Off my nose. Use my nose. Can you? Thank you. Resilient little son of a witch. But they know right from wrong. And then you have the teachers who know right from wrong. And then you have the demonics who know right from wrong and deliberately choose to do wrong and try to pull others into that wrongness as well. And then the angels who try to assist the children, because that's all we are. And then the archangels who not only assist the angels, because the angels do not know all, and in turn also trying to assist us trying to assist them, who are trying to assist those. You see the tears and how they all fit together. Okay, it is not. I'm going to teach all of this because the majority of what we 10-year-olds will say, the infant will not comprehend. I'm sure it makes sense. You can tell an infant 2 plus 2. The infant will not grasp the You understand. The infant will not grasp the concept of 2 plus 2. However, the 5-year-old will grasp the concept of 2 plus 2. And in turn, the 5-year-old may teach the infant taking this and putting this equals this. And the way we teach us 10-year-olds cannot be comprehended by the infants. However, it can be comprehended by the 5-year-olds. Now, I hope this is making sense, and if it does not, please let me know so I can... Shoo fly, don't bother me. So I can better, right? Because all I have is just my calculations. That's it. I have no writing on it. For the simple fact that I wanted to speak of it in a way that wasn't set, you know, so that we can have an understanding. But sheesh. I did want to go into this from the infants to the 10-year-olds, the impressionability level of these levels of consciousness. Okay. We all know that the infants are extremely impressionable. Yes. The 5-year-olds are impressionable. Okay. They know right from wrong. However, excuse me, there are those times when they choose to do wrong out of curiosity, maybe, out of that childlike state of yeah, everyone has that moment, right? And yes, sometimes the not so righteous path is a lot easier than the righteous path. It is a very narrow path. Doesn't mean you won't slip off of this path. This fly will not leave me alone. Yeah, go out. Stay out. You'll come back in. It's all right. Just because you slip off of this path or divert from this path does not mean you cannot find your way back to this path. And it does not mean that you cannot continue where you left off. Right? You can always come back. However, this jumping off and coming on and jumping off and coming on, eventually you will go down one path far enough, you will lose the narrow path. For my light workers. Okay. Now, we 10-year-olds are not too impressionable, for we have a knowing. We have an understanding. We have been gifted these things. This is what makes us not so impressionable. However, we can still be impressed upon. We can still be influenced. Okay? It is just a little more strategic and not so blunt for the opposing forces, we'll say, know that we are not so impressionable. Itchy. And therefore, they need to be a little more cunning when it comes to us. Because we, as the 10-year-olds, and as true 10-year-olds in a lifetime, make our own decisions based off of our mortality. Yes? Now, just because we are not as influenceable does not mean that we cannot be influenced. And this is where we get our rogues from. Alright? The ones who, because we are still children, have decided that the narrow path is just too narrow. Okay? The ones who just, you know. I believe you understand. And therefore, they decide, they choose which path that they will walk. I believe understanding the level of consciousness, the levels of consciousness, will help you to better understand the level of how influence can work. Okay. And I believe you me, because I just wrote some rules for myself. Okay. And all of last night is just all of these thoughts. Record this, record this, record this. And it went against one of the rules that I had written for myself. And instead of giving into it, believing that it was God believing that it was the divine trying to tell me, hey, you need to get this out, I decided to stick to my own rules. Otherwise, I'm sure, if I would have recorded this when I had these thoughts to record it, excuse me, some people wouldn't believe that I am just writing things out based on what they say, which is not true. You're not understanding. We are connected. These questions that you have are sent to me before I even know. Okay? Most of the time I write these things and I don't record it until later. Alright. Now, I was writing down the influence levels of these levels of consciousness, and I got to the most high, and I put absolute 0 for an influence level, because you cannot influence the divine. You cannot influence the Most High. And I put, just to better understand it, I put why. Right? Now, I believe that we as teachers are not meant to teach the flock directly, not in the way that we would teach the light workers, for the flock would not understand for one, And for 2, the truth behind it, which we hold in a deeper understanding of, the flock could not handle. Yes? Let me know. These are all open-ended questions for anyone to answer. Because, again, if you got a different understanding, perspective, or anything like that, please do tell me. So that, because 2 heads are better than 1. Alright. But the reason that I put for the Most High was not a reason at all. It was a single word. Really? You need to ask. Well, I leave no stone unturned. Now, I do hope, excuse me, that this can help you to better understand our place, their place, and the place of others. Okay. We are to teach the light workers. The light workers are in turn to teach the flock by example. Because again, we as teachers can explain these things to the flock, and the flock will not grasp the concept. Maybe a few concepts, right? Don't play with that cord. However, they will not understand. The light workers will understand. So, now, even in a school, teachers come together, shoot off ideas, gain curriculums, gain ideas, share ideas. Yes, work together. Okay? And then the teachers in turn teach the students, the light workers, who in turn go home and teach their younger siblings, the flock, what they have learned through their own interpretation. Yes? Not a whole lot of confirmations today. That's okay. So we don't need validations, for we have a knowing. Now, stay true to your knowing, because you know. And the 15-year-olds would love nothing more than to tell you you are wrong. And to do as they do, live within this lifetime as if it does not matter, when truly every lifetime matters. What we do today affects tomorrow. Yes? Now, not every single person is going to get everything right. Okay. For we have a knowing and piece together through our own knowledge and wisdom what, I don't want to say coexists with it, but what coincides with it. Yeah. I mean, we have an understanding that the divine does not condone murder. And therefore, we know that the divine will never ask us to murder. Right? never ask us to murder, may see what it is that we would do within a certain situation. Excuse me. He may observe our own conscious choice, for he knows what we would do subconsciously. Our own conscious choice to see where we are, to see what we are consciously feeling, because our consciousness is not entirely our subconsciousness. Our subconsciousness is our pure soul, is our pure energy, the one that hops from life to life. Our consciousness is this life itself. In turn with this, okay. Again, I would love to hear your point of view on it. Bounce ideas and stuffs. The consciousness must be reset for every lifetime. The subconsciousness does not. Our subconsciousness would be as our higher self, right? Now, the consciousness, when it gets reset, it not only gets reset and just wiped away, a copy of it is backed up, okay, and put into a storage of sorts, all right, and acts as an ancestor of yours. They say that the ancestors is your bloodline that passed away, which, yes, you do have those ancestors, other subconscious or other consciousness that was backed up from other souls that come in to assist you as well. However, I believe the spirit team that is with you consistently is from your past lifetimes, the consciousness of the past. And it is not just one or two. It is 1,000 years worth of lifetimes. Your life is set. Your lifetime is set. You have a set lifespan for this life, and it is divided within that 1,000 years. Again, this is just my take on it. I personally hold an understanding that we live in a Google world. However, who is it that controls Google? This has already been proven. What they do not want you to know, you will not know. And where are they getting their information from? And I know the next argument is AI. AI is controlled by who? AI has to abide by laws and regulations set in place by who? AI will not tell you certain things. They will not answer the hard questions, for they have been told not to. By, you guessed it, there was a person who brought up a point of research. Yes. And inadvertently, they actually brought up a whole nother point, and I don't believe that they actually caught that they brought up this point. Books. There is a reason why the old Germany wanted to burn these books. There is a reason why the old church wanted to burn these books, to get rid of these books, because a book cannot be changed so easily. And a lot of our books have held the right information. The interwebs can be changed quite easily, especially if you're only relying on one source. That you should not do. Do not rely on one source, because consistency comes from many. Now we're going with the bees again. Be gone. So, let me know any perspectives that you have, either directly, indirectly. Create a fake account. I don't care. Because it is not about who is getting these answers. It is about these answers being got. If you understand. Now, that was interesting. I'm gonna get out of here. I ain't gonna take up any more of your time. Until the next time. I'm the Hermit. These are the lessons of the Hermit. Do let me know how you're doing in that place down there where we can converse. It's got comments above it. Send me an email if you would like. My email is thedentedmailbox@gmail.com. If you would like to donate to the noble cause, you may. Anything is appreciated, even a penny. My Cash App is the $sign TLS199. There is no obligation. You don't have to. However, it would be highly appreciated. I will see you later. Later. I love you. Yes, you. No one else will do.